Okay, so to get your oval hoop as an image that you can bring into CorelDraw or Art Canvas at any time, so that when you're designing you can design within the area of the hoop if that's what you intend to do, the easiest way I found was to show your hoop in embroidery canvas and then digitize a line around the stitching area. So I've already done that. Now, even though this is an oval hoop, if we zoom in, whoops, we can see that they are actually straight lines. The red line is the hoop, and I haven't quite got that exactly accurate, so I'm just going to select that blue line and reshape and see what's going on here. That one was all right. We just need to move that one down a bit. Looks like there's two little bends in the hoop there, but get it as accurate as you can, and then you can go through to Art Canvas and if you've got Show Embroidery highlighted, you'll see the embroidery. So the hoop's not there anymore, but the embroidery is. It looks like there's a bit missing, but if you zoom in, it's there. Okay, so then it's just a matter of getting your pen tool and zooming in and clicking. Again, it's straight lines in this case. Now, if you have an oval hoop with a stitch area that is done as curves, then you will obviously make this curved, but I can just make it straight. Oops. If you make a mistake, you can undo in Art Canvas and it will just undo the last click. And while you've got the tool, you can use the slider bars. You don't lose the tool. So one left click on each point will keep the line joining. Nearly there. When you get back to the beginning, hover over the same node and hover over the start node and double click, and that will join the line as one closed object. So we can now select that, and it's selected, and reshape if you need to. So I can bring that node down a bit. So that's the reshape tool. Seems to be snapping to something, but that's close enough anyway. So now we can hide our embroidery and we've just got our line. If we select it, now we can export this. We're not going to save it because if we save it, it'll save as an embroidery design. So we need to File, Export. I suggest you save it as a JPEG. That'll be fine. You're never going to have to edit that. So it's just going to be a background image for you to use as a guide. So we're going to choose JPEG and we'll call it, I'm going to call this the maxi hoop. Don't know why it says oh, because I must already have an untitled, so I'll call it Maxi Hoop. And where am I going to save it? I'm going to save it in here, just as a I'll leave it in the bob and lace one because that's the one I'm working on, and export. Now because it's a JPEG, it's going to give you an image here. Now if you don't think this is dark enough, you can go back. So if we cancel that, you can make that line a bit thicker. So at the moment it's 0.2 millimeters, but if we make it 0.25 millimeters, it'll just make it a little bit thicker. And then File, Export, Maxi Hoop. JPEG, export. And in your color mode here, you can just make that RGB and high quality. We don't want it anti-alazed. We want a nice clean edge on it, so we're going to take out the anti-alazing, and that's about all we have to worry about, and just go OK. Now we can close that. No, I'm not going to save changes because I've exported what I wanted. Now if we open CorelDraw, and I'm going to open my lace project that I'm working on, and I'm going to bring that bitmap in. I'll just maximize that. So I can now bring that hoop outline in here. Now I had a rectangle drawn here. If you had a rectangle hoop, you could just draw a rectangle and size it, but I'm going to delete that because I don't want that. I want my oval hoop. So to bring that JPEG in, all I need to do is go to my File Explorer and navigate to where I had it saved, and here it is, and left click and drag it onto the workspace, and there it is. Now it's on top because it's the last thing I brought in, so all I need to do is move it down below my other objects, and I've got my outline to work from now. If you zoom in, the line is there. When you're zoomed out, it might have a few gaps, but it definitely is all there. So now you can arrange your embroidery objects in the hoop area. One other good thing to do is to actually center it on the page, and that means that any arrangement you make of embroideries inside will be centered when you go through to embroidery canvas later. If you bring this into embroidery canvas, a quick way to center the hoop on the page is have it selected and just hit P, the letter P for police, on your keyboard, and that will center it in the page, and you'll be able to have everything centered.